Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Monday evening Forex breakdown. My name is Gail Mercer, and I will be your hostess tonight. Before we get started, please take just a moment to read over the risk disclaimer. It is for your protection as well as ours, and basically, you should never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Now, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Gail Mercer. I am a Forex trader and have well over 15 years of experience now. I'm also the author of Trading Nadex Binary Options, Keeping It Simple Strategies, The New Trader's Guide to Trading Nadex Binary Options and Spreads, Trading Nadex Binary Options Using Currencies, and Trading Nadex Binary Options and Spread using candlestick patterns. I've also been a speaker at the Wyckoff Volume Conference, Traders World, Traders Expo, and TradeStation User Group. I do specialize in candlestick price formations, support, resistance, and volume analysis. I would like to invite you to visit tradershelpdesk.com to learn more about me, the methodology I use, as well as the indicators. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always contact me at gm@tradershelpdesk.com. Now, I just want to go over the products that Nadex offers. Some you may know about, some you may not. They do offer binary options on both the indices, the Forex, and the commodities. They also offer call spreads on the indices, Forex, and commodities. They offer the 5-minute binaries, 20-minute binaries, and the latest product is the touch brackets. And I actually enjoy trading the touch brackets. And I think they're going to be used a lot if we do see all of this volatility continue in the markets that we had like today. Now, let's go and look at what we have this week that's on the schedule. Okay. Tuesday, we do have the Aussie cash rate in the RBA rate statement. That is at 12:30 a.m., and this is New York time. At 10 p.m., we have the New Zealand, but we don't trade the New Zealand with Nadex. So we can skip down to Thursday. The Aussie has the RBA Governor Lau speaking. At 9:30 that night, the RBA monetary policy statement comes out. Then on Friday, we have the British pound, GDP month over month, manufacturing production, preliminary GDP, and then at 8:30, we have the Canadian employment change and unemployment rate. So from the looks of it, the U.S. side should be really light as far as market reports go. But if you're following the latest news on the trade wars, then you would know that China allowed their currency to fall today. And that was very significant because it escalated the trade war. And it has the potential of starting a currency war. Japan also came out and said they would not allow the yen to go so far up that it jeopardizes their economy. Now, for those of you that don't understand why they said that, the yen is considered a safe haven. Okay, so people will buy the yen in times of trouble, of uncertainty. And what they're saying is we're not going to allow you to push the yen up to the point where it hurts their economy as well. So this is escalating as far as the currencies go. You know, it's a good time to be trading Nadex because you do have that limited risk, okay? Now, we're going to start with the Aussie yen, and you can see, and this is something I want to point out, because when I say the yen's not going to allow, Japan is not going to allow their currency to go too far up. When you look at this chart, well, it's falling. The Aussie against the yen is falling. Do y'all understand that? So as long as this is falling, that means that the yen is gaining strength because this is two currencies. It's the Aussie dollar and the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen is the second one, okay? And in this case, you can see that the daily is overextended and you're making a double bottom over here on the 360, okay? I would expect for the 360 to at least go up and test 72.75. Does everybody understand that one? It may go further, okay? It could come all the way back to this ATR at 74.12, okay? There is that potential. So you're looking at a potential of 115, or if they play it out on the daily, then you're looking at a potential of 258. Any questions on that? Now, what could upset this move? If Japan comes out and says they're going to devalue their currency, that's going to upset this move. The last time they did that, I think there was a 500 pip move. Okay, so again, this is why, you know, I like trading the binary options and the touch brackets and the call spreads. You're protected against a massive loss. Okay, now I would like to see this set up on the lower time frames. For example, if I went down in time to a 60-minute and a 15-minute, I would want to see the stochastics actually gaining strength to the upside, okay? I would like to see them test for a support area that says, hey, this is the potential that we're going to go up right here. Does everybody understand that? Any questions on it? Okay, let's get a look at the Aussie dollar. And the Aussie dollar, you're seeing a lot of the similar issues. Okay, this is moving down, okay, but this is overextended. You are below -20. You're also overextended on the ADX, okay? Anytime that you're overextended on the ADX, that usually indicates a retracement is likely, okay? Also see here, you're overextended on all three, really. You know, the ADX, the RSI, and the stochastics just came off of being overextended. You also just made a very small double bottom here. Again, anticipation would be probably an upward move overnight. But remember that I believe it was around midnight, they have the cash rate in the RBA rate statement, okay? So you need to be aware of that if you're trading this overnight. Any questions on the Aussie dollar? We'll go look at the euro yen. And you can see that we've had a nice fall on the euro yen. But again, I'm expecting this to go up to this ATR. Could it go higher? Sure, it could. Currently, it's testing the fast moving average, but it looks like it's holding. If that does hold, let's see, from here to here is about 58 pips. Well, if I can work this little thing here. And from here to here is 185 pips. Now, one thing about it, with this being a reversal bar here, this would also give you a bullish divergence, which should also push that up as well. Any questions on the euro yen? Let's go look at the euro dollar. And the euro dollar has soared upwards today. As you can see, you were just at the point of being overextended here. This bar actually confirmed the bullish divergence. It has pushed the euro up on the daily chart. You do have an area that may act as resistance here at 1266. Okay. You can also see that you're overextended on the stochastics over here. So this is something I would be looking at. I would not want to go into here, into a trade right now because your stochastics is overextended. I would wait for a retracement. It would be helpful if you could point out which Nadex product would be best in a certain technical analysis. You know, which product you trade on Nadex is not based on a technical analysis. It's really based on, you know, what your risk limit is, what your risk parameters are, how much time do you want to sit with your trade, you know, how long do you want to be in the market? Do you want to trade a weekly binary? Do you want to trade a daily? You know, do you want to trade a 2 hour? Do you want to trade a 5 minute? You know, I have a group that I do coaching with, Keith, and they'll tell you I do pretty much the same thing if I'm trading a 5 minute binary versus a daily binary versus a touch bracket. You know, the bigger the move that you're anticipating, yeah, you're probably going to go out to a touch bracket because it's a weekly trade. You look at today, you know, if you go over to Nadex today, for those of you that don't know, we had the Dow Jones move down almost 1,000 points. Okay, so if I go over here and I look at Wall Street, okay, and we're looking at these touch brackets, just today we are now at touch brackets 17, 18, 19, and 20. We started with 4. Okay. Could anybody have anticipated that move? I don't think so. Not until, you know, about 5 o'clock this morning when I got up and saw that China had allowed their currency to fall. You know it's going to be a big day, okay? But normally this is still on 4, okay? It doesn't matter about the technical analysis technique. I can use it on a 5 minute. I can use it on a call spread. I can use it on a 2 hour. I can use it on a daily. Okay. And here's another example, Keith. Okay. When I'm measuring these moves, okay, this is your reversal bar. Okay. So this says more than likely it's going to come up to here. That's 115 pips. Okay. Now, if you're trading the daily chart, what would you trade to capture the most, the 115 pips? Simple, it would be a touch bracket, okay? But I can drill down in time all the way down to a 15 minute, okay? So now we have a 15-minute chart. And let me put this on, no, I won't do that. Okay. And every time this hit these blue dots or even the blue cross, that's a 2 hour binary, that's a 2 hour binary, that's a 2 hour binary, that's a 2 hour binary. Okay, so I could have combined that with a 2 hour binary, with a touch bracket, and even thrown in some call spreads. And it's all coming from just this simple thing right here of saying, okay, this is a bullish divergence. Price is more than likely going to go up. You have a price bar that's confirming it. Okay, can I get a touch bracket that has a reasonable risk? Well, then I can come down and also take binary options on it. Does that answer your question, Keith? Okay, so let me go back to my 3. Oh, don't want to do that. Let me go back to my 6 hours. Okay. Right now, I would not want to enter a touch bracket, okay? Because number one, as I've already pointed out, you have this dot here, and that tells me there's a potential area for resistance here. But in addition to that, over here, I can already see I've got a high. This is at 20, it's 1.1283. This is 1.1266. Okay, so I've got this one it's going to get to first, and then it's going to hit this one. So you've got some overhead resistance. I wouldn't want to take that trade now. Any questions on the euro? At any point when you step into it right now, there's going to be a tendency for that to come down. Why? Because all of these people that went short back in here, hey, what do they want to do? They want to take profits. That's their game. Okay? That's what they do. They take profits. They're traders. All right, let's go look at the GBP, GPY. And you can see here we have a potential for bullish divergence. What we're missing is the bullish bar, okay? You need that bullish bar. Here, you're overextended, overextended, overextended. This is telling me we should get a retracement, okay? When you go to the 6-hour chart, you see the British pound yen, you see you're making this little double bottoms. I love these patterns right here, okay? Because what they're telling you is, okay, we made a low, we came back to test the low, they rejected it, and more than likely it's going to come up to here, okay? Now, the British pound yen is if you're doing a 2-hour binary, they're not open until 8 a.m. So this one, you have to either trade a daily or a weekly if you're trading a binary option. There are no touch brackets on the British pound yen. Okay. So I do think it may come up to here. But again, you know, just because I think that's what it's going to do, okay, I'm still going to go down, and I'm just going to give you the short version, okay? This should be blue, okay? So it should be below price, and then price should come back and test it, okay? It's nowhere near that right now, okay? There's no way I would be interested in it at the moment. It's a very specific criteria that I would look for to do a binary on that one. And because you need to do this on a daily, I might even change that over and switch it to a 60-minute. Now let's go and look at the British pound dollar. As everybody knows, we have the Brexit that's festering on the British pound. You can say that we're overextended, and we're overextended here. This would make me think that we're going to get a retracement. When I look over here, I would prefer to see divergence, okay? We're not seeing any divergence. We are overextended. Yes, it could potentially pull back to the ATR. When you look over to the 6-hour, you do see that you had divergence here, and it has tried to push price up. Has not been very successful at it yet, okay? So, you know, I'm not real enthusiastic about doing anything on the British pound dollar right now because you're not seeing any momentum to this move whatsoever, okay? Could you take a couple of 2-hour binaries and say, okay, I'm going to trade to the long side up until it gets to 2203? You could, okay? And not my cup of tea. It's just too volatile right now. If they come out and say something about the Brexit, it could tank or it could go the other way. Okay, so you take that risk when you're trading the British pound right now. Now on the USD CAD, again, this is one that does not have a 2-hour binary until tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So if you're trading the USD CAD, you would have to use a daily, okay? If you are not familiar with the Nadex daily binary options on Forex, they have 6. 3 a.m., 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., and 11 p.m. Okay, so pretty much you can make your own 5-hour or 6-hour binary. Okay, in this case, you do see that you are at an area that may resist price. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this is, okay, you've got an area that could potentially resist price here, but your weekly is saying that this is going to go up to this ATR. Okay. Okay. So we have the weekly saying, okay, 33.74 is likely where we're going to go. I think it'll probably end up being about 33.43. So right now it's struggling to close above 32.16. I would like to see it come down and either test this blue line or even this ATR. And I would not really want to enter that until that occurs, okay? Then when you come down even one step further to the 6-hour chart, you can see that it did test the ATR here, okay? This should have been a bullish bar, but it wasn't because this showed a lot of weakness. So that told me this should have been a bullish bar. It wasn't. It's struggling to make a bullish bar right now. So I think maybe tomorrow would be a good day to trade the US CAD, but not today. Any questions on the USD CAD? Let's go look at the USD Swiss franc. And the USD Swiss franc is actually coming down at the moment. You can see this just ticked to the downside. You're almost overextended, but not quite there yet. You are over here on the 6-hour chart. And you can see this is what happened today on the US dollar side. Now, should we get some type of retracement? We should. This is one, there is a potential for this to retrace. I'm not going to be betting on it to do that, okay? And the reason is because of the issues that we're having right now with the trade war and a potential currency war. There's no way I would take a long position currently, not until, I actually see that things have calmed down and this is not going to continue to tank. Okay, that's the bottom line. You're going to have to be careful about taking some of your trades until the market settles down from today. Does everybody understand that? I mean, if you were not watching the market today, it was one for the records, okay, literally. Um, so I want to see some sort of calming of the markets before I just arbitrarily start to go into the market. Don't trade it just because you have an opinion, okay? Don't think, well, it's been taken, so I'm just going to, go short, because if you do that, that's when they'll reverse it, okay? In normal circumstances, this would form a bullish bar and it would typically retrace up to this ATR, which is about 87 ticks. I would definitely wait for a retracement right now, or at least, Enrique, to make sure, hey, the normal patterns are starting to play again, okay? Because this is an emotional reaction to what is happened today. It's not, you're not trading technical analysis today. You're trading the way traders are reacting to what's going on with China in the US. Is that a better understanding of it, Enrique? Okay, let's go look at the USD JPY. and it's probably oversold everywhere. On the USD Swiss franc, no, it will be a double bottom if it comes here. You would be right. But what you want to see when it forms that double bottom is you want to see a rejection. Okay? Right now, there's nothing saying there's a rejection. If you come back here and you see this one, they rejected. They made a low here, they came here, and they rejected it. They're coming back right now with a vengeance. I wouldn't take that. That's a strong bar to the downside. I wouldn't touch it. Does that answer your question, Enrique? Okay, let's go look at the USD JPY, and it's pretty much going to be the same as I just said about the USD Swiss franc. And the reason they're both US dollar on the first part of the currency, and of course the US dollar fell today. Okay, you are now oversold on the daily, and you're also oversold on the 6 hour. Do y'all see how that formed that little green bar there? If you had went long on this one, okay, do you see how they came right back and took you out or caused you to have a loss? You know, that's why I'm saying be very careful right now, because this is a reaction to what's happening in the world around us, which is pretty phenomenal, okay? Typically, what I would tell you is that with this overextended, I would be looking for a retracement either to the blue line or up to the ATR, okay? This is overextended, overextended, overextended. This tells me that more than likely all those people that went short up here and they made 350 pips are going to want to take some profit, right? So that's what's going to push this back up to here, is people taking profits, okay? I want them to prove to me, in other words, that they're actually going to let this market go up. And right now, I'm not seeing it. Do you see how that blue line just dropped? That's usually a bad sign for a market, okay? So what I would want is for them to come up and come through this blue line, but then retest it. Show me you're going to hold. And then I might be interested in taking a long position. Am I interested in taking a short position? No, because just as soon as you go short, they're going to let it retrace. So I'll sit on the sideline and I'll wait for my setup. Any questions on the markets tonight, guys? Yeah, to me, if you wanted to go short, you know, back here on the daily would have been a better time to do it. But right now, after this huge drop, is not the time to be shorting. Let it retrace some. I call it normalize. I want to see it normalize and then I'll re-enter. Okay? Now, again, I would like to invite you to visit tradershelpdesk.com. And also, you can always send me an email at gm@tradershelpdesk.com. Yeah, it's way oversold right now, Enrique. There's there's literally no way you're going to entice me to enter that market right now. Again, I like to see it normalize some. Normally, I'll actually trade the retracement. I won't even trade the retracement right now because I think we might get another move like this right here. Just about the time you start to go long, they're going to take it back down. So I'm going to watch it overnight. In the morning when I get up, then I'll decide whether I want to venture back into the market or not. I mean, I was trading back in 2007, 2008 when the markets were crashing, and that's pretty much the kind of day we had today. And I was actually trading the futures in Forex back then. And just, on a stop, you were having to run, a 10-point stop. Minimum was a 10-point on the 3-minute chart on the futures. And a lot of times you had to run about a 15-point. Because, and then you might get locked into it because they would stop all trading. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but I do. Very volatile time. And that was before I traded with Nadex. So, when Nadex come out, I just fell in love with them because you don't have to worry about it. Just think if you were long, the indices have been moving up. Sure, it'll tank and then it'll move straight back up, right? Well, just think about all the people that have been long on the indices. It crashed 1,000 points today on the Dow. I think the Nasdaq at one point was, I think it was close to 500. No, I know it was down 300 points. Seems like it was 500 at one time, though. That's pretty hefty. And yet you wouldn't have to worry about that with Nadex because you locked it in when you entered the trade. It's pretty simplistic trading. In some ways, it's simplistic from that angle. All right. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I did enjoy it. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and I will see you next Monday, 7 p.m. again.